While police are meant to serve and protect, sometimes bad apples make wrong decisions that end up costing the city millions of dollars. In the strangest arrest in history, a man named Luther asked a police officer for directions and then proceeded to go on his way. But he didn't quite understand the instructions from the officer, so he went inside a White Castle to ask for directions to the employees, and the policeman followed him inside.
Hey, what are you doing, man?
I'm just looking for my way back to the church.
Wait.
You trying to get directions to Extra Middle?
I told you where it's at about 2 minutes ago.
That was you?
Yeah, well, whose father was it?
I'm sorry, I know you're the cops.
So I told you where it was at, right?
Yeah.
So why are you in here asking the same thing?
I'm not for sure where I'm going.
I told you where to go.
Alright, thank you.
Is that accurate or no?
Yeah.
So why are you in here?
I was just making sure.
Making sure I told you the right thing?
I'm not for sure where I'm going.
I told you where to go, right?
Yeah.
So why are you in here?
Alright, sorry.
No. Why are you in here?
I told you I wasn't for sure.
The officer was being extremely rude, and since Luther didn't do anything wrong, he decided to leave, since there's no legal basis for the cop to detain him.
Alright, thank you.
Come here, guy. Come here. Yo.
Whoa.
What are you doing, man?
You don't need to touch me like that.
An altercation occurred, causing the man to fall from the bike while he was being detained, and you can hear him confused about why they're arresting him.
What? Okay, alright. So, what did I do? I'm sorry, what did I do? I just was asking for directions, bro.
The body cam fell to the floor during the incident, so there wasn't much footage or audio. However, you can hear Luther asking the officer to stop applying so much pressure. He was then taken to the station and charged with resisting and opposing a police officer. Luther sued the city and was awarded $9.2 million.
Luther had a right to resist, because as a citizen, most people don't know this, you can resist an unlawful arrest.
This next case of corruption is so egregious that the victim's attorney wanted this video made public to show the locals what happened. In April 2018, a police officer responded to a call about a man named Polo, who had allegedly aimed a gun at someone. The description stated that Polo was wearing green and black. However, when the officer arrived at the scene, he saw a man named Nate in a purple shirt checking his mail.
Who are we calling about?
Calling about me, buddy.
Calling about you?
Calling about me. Your ears in your mouth.
Hey, how about you watch your mouth for your ass gets still in the back of my car?
You gonna put me in the car for the stuff in front of my house about private property not bothering you. You go here talking about who am I, Polo? And I told you no.
Hey, listen.
Yeah, listen, you been going.
No, get your ass over here. You're not part of this. Come here. Come here, right now. Come here.
You can't go for what?
I'll shoot your fucking dog.
Shoot my dog, boy. You can't come in my yard.
Get over here now.
Get out of my yard.
Get over here right now. Taser deployed. Start me at 20.
The officer quickly escalated the situation. Even though Nate had nothing to do with the incident, the officer tased him and also threatened to shoot Nate's dog. This is what the law would describe as excessive use of force. Nate's first instinct was to get inside his house out of fear of those who were supposed to protect him. He ended up coming out with his family and was arrested. Instead of simply handcuffing him, the officers threw him to the ground, even though he wasn't resisting. Then the police finally went to speak to the person who had actually called them.
Alright. You called,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah.
Was this about him, correct?
No. It was another guy, but he ran through. He had the Glock. He was standing by that telephone pole, and he was talking about shooting up. Me and her was in there playing cards, and he was talking about. He was talking about shooting up in her.
Because when I walked up, you said, yes, that's him.
No, I said.
Yes, you did, because I walked up and I said, who are you here about? And you said, yeah, that's why I'm here. And so when I started confronting him about going in the house, that's when all this erupted. I asked you, and I said,
I misunderstood what you said.
because when I walked up here, I said, is this him? He was like, no, I don't know, you're talking about open your ears, blah, blah, blah. And I said, is this why I'm here? And you said, yes, that's why you're here.
Yeah, because when you started going toward him to the steps, I was hollering, that's not him. But he was on, but he just ignorant. He always got,
Yeah, I know.
Talking and just act a total fool.
Yeah.
Okay, this is where things get more interesting. The cop proceeded to basically admit to his superior that he arrested him because he was guessing it was him. This is a violation of constitutional rights since it has been established that good faith from the arresting officer is not enough to arrest someone. And to make things worse, they talked about making up charges despite knowing he was completely innocent.
Because I pulled up here, and he was standing out in the middle of the road, and I was like, well, I'm guessing this guy could be it.
What was I didn't even hear what the initial call was.
Somebody said they had a gun, they were threatening to shoot this guy. And so when I pulled up, he walked out of the house, and this guy was telling me to, like, I said, hey, are you Polo? And he was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Leave me alone. Like, he's calling you, shoot. He's like going like this, like, shoot, shoot. And I was like, well, I'm trying to figure out why I'm here. And he's like, he called you, not me. Now go deal with him. And I was like, I said something to him. I asked him, like, what is your name? He made some comment. I said, what? And he said, how about you open up your ears and shut your mouth? And I was like, how about I said, excuse me? And then so I asked him for his ID, and he was like, man, what you talking about? Leave me alone. Disorderly and resisting. And if Panez could help me with make up anything else. But that's what I have right now is disorderly resisting.
Nate's charges brought by the officer were dismissed, and he filed a lawsuit against the city seeking a total of $3 million in damages, which they settled for an undisclosed amount. The officer was suspended for 60 days for using force outside guidelines and submitting reports that contained false and misleading information. This is the face of an officer who realized that they accidentally euthanized $100,000 worth of snakes. In April of 2023, wildlife officers were called about undocumented python snakes that were in a list of non-native invasive reptiles. The owner of the facility requested the officers to take possession of and euthanize 34 of the illegal pythons, but they accidentally euthanized a boa who was pregnant.
Okay. Just throw it in. Just throw it right in. I feel bad, bro. I mean, I feel it's a boa, but it's a rare and it's mate right now. It's like $10,000 snakes, like the babies. They're really expensive breed. It's a mistake.
There's the boa's dead.
The what?
The boa.
We
The
fucked.
pregnant boa.
We messed up.
No. No. Oh my God, that guy's gonna flip out. What is wrong with you guys? Who did it?
Hold on. We're shaking just like you are. Trust me.
Is there a way to maybe save the baby?
Can we save it?
Oh no, dude. This guy's gonna go bananas. Oh my God. Why?
It was a mistake.
It was a mistake.
How? I reminded you 10 times.
The people working at the facility were obviously extremely upset since there were signs that it was a boa snake, and he warned them many times to specifically not mess with that snake.
It can get fixed.
You can't
The
fix
state's gonna fix it.
You can't
Relax.
fix it. What just happened?
It can get
Relax.
fixed.
You can't fix it. You just killed something that wasn't illegal, and it had about $100,000 worth of babies.
Hey, keep an eye on him.
Make sure you.
Keep an eye on him. Thank you.
Even though it's unclear the outcome and compensation the owner of the reptile facility received, the officer did mention that the state is going to fix it, so let's hope that the man got compensated. A woman named Jessica and her boyfriend left her car parked when a random drunk man smashed her windshield. Once Jessica got back to her car, she flagged down an officer on a bike to tell him someone had broken her windshield. What Jessica didn't know is that the officer was investigating a hit and run that happened a block away. The cop, upon seeing the broken windshield, thought Jessica was the one that committed the hit and run, and the officer immediately started accusing her.
Car was just involved in a hit and run collision where a pedestrian was hit. And don't make faces like you don't know what I'm talking, but listen to me.
Oh my God.
Listen
Okay.
to me. Leaving the scene of an injury accident is a felony. This isn't my first day. I know that you were driving and you were worried about it because you're drinking. If you
Well, I
continue,
came
listen
to
to
get
me.
my cigarettes. You can ask the hi-fi security guard. Like,
Then how did your car have damage on your
I
windshield?
have no idea.
Okay.
I
If
have
you
no
listen to
idea.
me, because of the nature of the incident and the injuries, if you continue to say we don't know that you're driving and you don't know what happened to your car, we're going to do DNA tests and all sorts of other things to the car, and it's going to show that you were.
The couple was in the nightclub for hours, and despite having nothing to do with the hit and run, the officer simply refused to listen.
I'm not going to listen to you because you're lying to me. The problem is you guys left, were involved in a collision, you
we did not.
panicked,
No, we did
you
not.
pulled over here.
No, we did not. No, we did not.
Okay.
You cannot pin that. You're not pinning that on us because that is
But
not the
this
truth.
you're not listening to me.
I'm listening to you.
You're not
saying that this vehicle
listen,
was involved.
Listen,
in
stop
a hit and
talking
run.
for a second. You're not listening to
Let me show you the transactions. Let me show you the transactions.
I don't need to see the transactions.
Why? Why? Because it validates my truth?
No, there's evidence that you can't dispute.
That's not evidence about anything.
There's a person that hit the windshield.
Nobody hit the windshield.
Okay.
This car.
All right, I'm not going to argue with you, man. And we have cameras. I'm trying to help protect you guys now because now you're lying to us. She has glass on her clothing like an explosion, like small shards of glass.
Here's where the officer was caught in a lie. Jessica clearly had no glass on her, and if they had checked the cameras, they would know the broken windshield had nothing to do with the hit and run.
Look from the angle, there's little specks of it on her shirt. Yeah.
Where?
The police then booked her, took her blood for future DNA tests, and also forced her to strip naked. Shockingly, the police had video evidence showing what happened before she was handcuffed or taken to the county jail. Jessica was wrongly charged with a DUI and failure to stop at the scene of an accident, despite not driving. Jessica retaliated with a massive lawsuit, which was eventually settled after 3 years. A false 911 phone call by hotel staff resulted in a $200 million lawsuit, and it's easy to see why. A 41-year-old resident of Dubai named Ahmed was in the United States to undergo medical treatment at Cleveland Clinic, which is ranked the second best hospital in the world. Ahmed went to seek accommodation at the Fairfield Inn by Marriott Hotel, and was told it was fully booked due to a convention, but to wait in the lobby while they gather other options. And in a crazy turn of events, the sister of the front desk worker made this call.
Hi, my sister works at the Fairfield Inn on Colorado Avenue in Avon. She is a desk worker.
Okay.
And there is a male in a full headdress with multiple disposable phones pledging his allegiance or something to ISIS.
Okay.
It is very panicky.
And to make matters worse, the father made a similar call after the sister texted him.
Hello?
Yes.
My daughter is working at Fairfield Inn. And
I was just, is this his dad?
Yes.
I was just on the other line with and I got officers en route.
Thank you.
All right.
She said she's in the back. I have the text. She said she's terrified, so
Oh,
please.
okay. All right.
Thank you.
Obviously, the man never said any of the things he was accused of, and no one knows what prompted the sister to lie. The police arrived and he was arrested at gunpoint. And while they were searching his pockets and inspecting for possible weapons, another officer was talking to the actual hotel worker that attended him.
So you said you guys were booked?
Yeah, we said we were booked.
Okay.
And everywhere he called is booked too. It's summer. People are
Sure, absolutely.
So, I mean, that's what he had 2 phones. He was searching the internet on one phone, making calls on a disposable phone. That's really all that I know. It just freaks me out because of everything.
He didn't say anything else?
No, it's
Because the call we got is that someone said that he was pledging his allegiance to ISIS, and who would have said that? Who made the call?
I told my sister, I said, "Oh, I think he's dressed in." It's my sister. Her name's Allison. She called. I said he's dressed in a weird outfit. He has 2 disposable phones. I said I don't know what to do because of everything.
2030 units, stop your search.
Is this man here?
Once the police realized the caller made a widely false accusation, he immediately called the search off. What the sister did was a crime under Ohio law for reporting a false emergency. To worsen matters, Aman managed to speak with a friend who was a police officer and offered to translate. When they informed him of the accusations, he collapsed. Having previously undergone heart surgery, he was hospitalized for several days. Fortunately, he fully recovered and filed a lawsuit against the officers and Marriott. The police department issued a formal apology in person, but no charges were brought against the woman who made the false call. And after 3 years of legal battles, the $200 million lawsuit was settled for an undisclosed amount. What at first seemed to be a regular traffic stop ended up with a college athlete suing the city for false arrest, and then the city countersuing him for defamation. It all started on an August night just around midnight when a student was driving with his blinds on.
Newton Police Department. The reason I pulled you over is because you have your bright lights on.
Yeah, I have a headlight out, so I just keep my brights on.
Okay, well that's not legal.
Oh, is it?
No.
Yeah, I turn when a car comes by, I turn them off, but like.
Well, you didn't with me.
Oh, you weren't close enough though. You were
close enough?
You were a while back.
It has to be within 500 feet.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
And you're not supposed to have your brights on in the city limits.
My fault.
You got your license, registration, insurance with you?
Yeah, I got you.
Where are you coming from?
Friend's house.
Okay. Anything to drink over there? I didn't hear what you said.
Is one of these? Need one of these right here?
The student ended up providing all the information the officer requested. Then the officer asked him if he could go to the car for further questioning. This is where things started to go downhill.
How much have you had to drink tonight?
None.
What do you mean none?
I had nothing to drink.
Okay. Why would your eyes be watery and bloodshot?
You want to blow me real quick?
I don't want to blow you.
Pause.
We'll probably get there.
Despite the officer making a wildly inappropriate joke, it's important to note that 1, the student asked for a breathalyzer which would have shown if he was sober or not, and 2, on the footage one can see his eyes were not bloodshot.
I've had nothing to drink.
Okay. So your movements in the car with you fumbling over the registration?
Yep.
kind of say otherwise.
All right.
And so does the odor of alcohol coming from your person.
Great. Let's do a test and
We'll get to the test.
I can't wait. So what happens if, nothing pops up? Do you get in trouble?
No. Why would I get in trouble?
Because you think I'm drinking, but I'm not drinking.
I'm not gonna get in trouble for doing what I'm supposed to do.
Can I record it?
Yeah, absolutely.
What's your name?
My name's Officer Winters.
So Officer Winters thinks I'm drinking tonight. We're about to do a test, and he's gonna find out I had nothing to drink. He's gonna look stupid. Ain't that right? I've had nothing to drink. Zero.
Alright, so let's go up on the sidewalk here and I'll talk with you up there, okay?
Cool.
Eager to take the field sobriety test, both got out of the vehicle and proceeded with it. The student spoke clearly and articulated well during the first test, passing it with no problem. However, there was some confusion with the instructions for the walk and turn test.
3, just like I did. You're gonna walk.
After 9 steps?
You're gonna take a series of small steps and take 9 steps back, okay? During this, keep your arms down to your side. Watch your steps. Count your steps out loud, and once you've started walking, do not stop until you've completed the test, okay?
Perfect. So you want to get to 9? I guess, so how do I turn?
Take a series of small steps. Stops walking 13 steps.
Come on, man, it's too easy. Let's do the breath now. You 2 for 2.
Well, sir, I don't believe you are 2 for 2. How many steps did I say to take?
Like 8 or 9?
I said 9. Why'd you take 14 and then 15?
I thought you were going to tell me when to turn.
I said to count your steps out loud. So the next test is I want you to stand with your heels and toes together.
On the next test, the student starts getting frustrated and threw some digs at the officer, which is understandable but maybe not the best idea.
You a rookie, bro.
Toes together with your arms down your side.
This is your first year?
No.
No way.
No.
No way.
When I say begin, I want
How
you...
How many false accusations you got?
0.
It's about to be your first.
We'll see. What I want you to do...
He knows it too. He knows I'm about to pass it.
During this, keep your arms down your side. Why are you shaking so much?
It's freezing, man. Look at you. You got all these clothes on, and I got shorts on, and it's raining. And you false accusing me, so of course I'm going to be a little nervous.
After some other field sobriety tests in which the student passed, the officer finally brings out the breathalyzer to end this whole situation.
You ready?
Yep. Okay, you can relax. So I'm going to read you Miranda, okay? Right now you have the right to remain silent. Anything you...
The officer immediately started reading the student's Miranda rights, despite him blowing a 0.00, indicating no alcohol in his system. This was contradictory to the officer's earlier claim of smelling alcohol. Unable to book the student for alcohol, the officer decided to switch the alleged substance to marijuana.
When's the last time you smoked weed?
I do not remember that.
Tonight?
No.
Okay, well I
tonight,
think it's tonight.
I've had no weed tonight.
Jasper 6:30 down on PBT.
What? Why do you think it's tonight? Why do you think I smoke? I blew 0, so now you're trying to think I smoke weed. That's what's going on. You can't do that, man. You really can't do that.
Absolutely I can.
Is he allowed to do that?
Yes, he is.
So I blow 0, and you suspect drugs now.
At the station, the officer took down information and kept inquiring about the student's substance use, which the student denied, stating he hadn't used marijuana in the past year. Then another officer came in and administered another field sobriety test, which the student passed without issue. After medical tests, the second officer concluded there were no signs of impairment and told him he was free to go home. The student then asked to speak to the officer who had detained him.
Yeah, he's around here. Can I talk to him? If you want, I was just going to take you home.
Okay, yes, I just want to speak to him.
I'm really disappointed in how you can't bite your
I based my decision on your field sobriety test. Next time, I would recommend asking for clarification. If you don't understand something, ask.
The student, whose name is Taven, sued the city of Newton, and the city countersued for defamation.
Taven Galanakis is suing the city of Newton, the chief of police, and 2 other Newton officers.
The city of Newton and 3 of its police officers are now countersuing a college student for defamation.
Even though the case is still ongoing, so we don't know how much money Taven will get, an eerily similar story was shared on a street interview hosted by Chris Stocks. that had a $1.4 million settlement.
How much money are in your bank accounts?
Well, I got like probably 4 or 5 grand in the bank account, but then I did get a trust fund set up, which is pretty nice.
Can you tell me how much is in the trust fund?
Like 1.2, 1.3 million. When I was around 17. I was a goody two shoes in high school. Like I always followed by the rule books, never drank or anything. But I got pulled over one time. I was driving some of my drunk friends home. The cop pulled me over. He's like, "So have you boys been drinking tonight?" I was like, "No, officer, I haven't. We're just driving home." He saw the guys. He's like, had me do a sober test first. He had me walk in a line. I have horrible balance. Couldn't walk 10 steps in a line. And so he's like, "Yeah, looks like you're f***ed up. I'm gonna take you to the station." I was like, "Dude, just breathalyze me. Come on, like, let me show you something." And either way, he didn't listen. He booked me just without any reason. So then afterwards, when they found out I had, like, they breathalyzed me there and I had a 0.0, but the cops went along with it. So afterwards, we got to take it to the court, actually, which was lit.
2 police officers pulled over a 25-year-old woman from Georgia for allegedly speeding. And while they were being somewhat harsh, no one could have expected what was about to happen next.
Stay in the car.
Sorry, my window doesn't hold.
Off to Brown Roswell Police Department. You know how fast you were just going, ma'am?
I'm so sorry. I'm late for work.
You have your driver's license and your insurance card?
Yeah, my insurance.
Turn off the car and pass me the keys, please. A second, I'll be right with you.
In a crazy turn of events, the officers went to their car and opened a coin toss app to decide the fate of the driver while they were giggling about it.
What's that?
A head, R tail.
Okay.
This is tail, right?
Yeah, so really.
23.
Michael Jordan? Hi. So I got too fast for, let me write this down. Too fast for conditions.
While it's hard to say if what they did is illegal, one can tell it was not the first time they've done it, and a clear violation of due process and ethical standards. The officers were temporarily suspended for their actions, even though sometimes people do strange things during regular traffic stops, which lead to the police to start an investigation. This woman was just going throughout her day, about to get on a plane at LAX when she was stopped by an officer and immediately arrested. Apparently someone with her name had a warrant for her arrest in Texas. She ended up spending 13 days in jail until they eventually checked her ID, which showed a completely different birth date, and she did not look anything like the other suspect.
Immediately, all I could think was, I've never been to Texas. I kept saying that they had the wrong person and to double check, and they just said, "Yep, nope, we have it. Bethany Kaylee Farber."